Welcome to the OOV Daily Reflection for Tuesday, December 28th. Today, the Universal Church marks the feast day of the Holy Innocents. And though there may be a few of you who do not recognize this title, it is the title given to the infants and children who were killed on the account of Jesus' birth. This tragic event is described in the daily gospel reading for Mass, and it comes to us from the second chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel. It reads, When the Magi had departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, Rise and take the child and his mother, flee to Egypt, and stay there until I tell you. Herod is going to search for the child to destroy him. Joseph rose and took the child and his mother by night and departed for Egypt. He stayed there until the death of Herod, that what the Lord had said through the prophet might be fulfilled. Out of Egypt I called my son. When Herod realized that he had been deceived by the Magi, he became furious. He ordered the massacre of all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity, 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had ascertained from the Magi. Then was fulfilled what had been said through Jeremiah the prophet. A voice was heard in Ramah, sobbing and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children, and since she would not be consoled, since they were no more. As we continue to celebrate this octave of Christmas, we continue to focus on the birth of Jesus Christ and the joy that is brought to the world by this event. It changed the world and opened the way to salvation for all of us. In this knowledge of how Christ changed everything is a source of hope for people of faith. However, the birth of Christ also had other consequences, and this reality is remembered on this day. Since Herod believed that Jesus was to be an earthly king, he would have been a threat to his authority in his mind. Therefore, the babies and children in Bethlehem and the surrounding area paid the ultimate price for a king's worries about authority and power. And the church recognizes the holy innocents' sacrifice this day because they would not have faced death if it was not for the birth of Jesus Christ. So every December 28th, their sacrifice, their martyrdom will be remembered until the end of time, and their story will never be forgotten by the church. But I think it also should be noted on this feast day that this action of Herod also foreshadows that Jesus Christ would be a threat to the powers of the world. And he continues to be a threat to the powers of this world. Jesus Christ's salvific message is a message of hope and consolation. And it also causes controversy because at the end of the day, authority and power do not matter to the message of salvation. In fact, Christ says over and over again that these realities are an obstacle to the gospel. So his salvific message is to be a source of hope and consolation. But even from the moment of his birth, he is a sign of contradiction to this world. So the Prince of Peace is not concerned about power and control. The Lord of Lords is not concerned about money and influence. The sprout from the stump of Jesse is not concerned about instituting an earthly realm. We who follow Christ are concerned about the love, mercy, and following Christ wherever it may lead us. So millions of Christians have died over the centuries because of their faith and because they were associated with Jesus Christ. And ultimately, many of these men and women died because they were viewed as threats to the earthly authorities that surrounded them. So as we continue to celebrate this wonderful octave of the Christmas season with joy and hope, we remember that not everyone believes what we believe. And furthermore, if we live out our faith, sometimes we will first face persecution, face difficulties, face threats. But know that all these men and women who carry out their faith to the fullest are truly witnessing to Christ in their lives and this reality began at the very moment Christ was brought into the world. So we know that there is a cost to our faith. And we just pray that we, for our own part, will never take our faith for granted. And we continue to pray for all those who are facing more challenges than us, that they may be delivered from these challenges, and if not, that they boldly face these challenges and witness to Jesus Christ in the way the holy innocents did. Our Lady of Victory and the Holy Innocents, pray for us.